I love to make soup, I love to eat soup, and I'm always looking for new recipes and ways to maybe make a shortcut on soups. I'm here with family food expert Alice Seufert, and we're talking soup today, right?
Soup today, and also we're using freezer pasta.
I see three packages.
All of these different ways that you can use frozen pasta that you'll find in just the freezer aisle of your grocery store.
That sounds like a shortcut to me.
It's a shortcut, but it's also a way to like kind of spruce up a soup that might be a little bit boring, and you can do something different with it.
And make it really filling, because I think a lot of times people think soup isn't filling, and I find them to be just great because they typically have vegetables and some sort of protein and maybe a starch if you want to do that. So it's like a meal in one.
Exactly.
All right, let's get started.
Yeah, well, let me explain a couple of the soups that I have that I brought today. The first is Potstickers. So usually the Potstickers are something that you fry in a pan that you get at an Asian restaurant. So I made a Potsticker soup. And in the broth, I use like a chicken broth. This is a great one if you want to do a vegetarian version. So you can buy vegetarian Potstickers. You could do a veggie broth. I usually put like a little soy sauce, a little bit of sesame oil, and then I just pick like my favorite vegetables. So here I sauteed like some garlic with mushrooms, some snow peas, some carrots. I added a little bit of kale from my garden just to add some extra greens. And I think it's really fun to add like some hard-boiled eggs too. And
so you saute all those veggies up ahead of time, and then just put them in the broth, cook the Potstickers ahead of time, and put that in the broth and let it simmer? Is it as easy as that?
So using frozen pasta in soups is a little bit tricky.
Okay.
So you told me that sometimes when you are making soups with pasta, it turns into a casserole.
Yep. Accidentally.
Yes.
It's
so
not on purpose.
It happens to everybody. Okay. So there is a trick with making frozen pastas or any pastas with soups, because what happens, and what happened to you, is that you put the pasta in and then you have so many leftovers, you don't want to throw it away, you want to keep it. But what happens, the pasta just soaks up all of that broth, and it just the pasta turns to mush, really. So for something like a Potsticker, what I always tell people, if you're adding pasta to a soup, I usually always say, like, bring that soup to a boil. If you're going to eat all of that soup in one sitting, throw the pasta in, boil it up right in the broth.
Okay.
If you're going to be saving some later, like I put all these Potstickers in and boiled them, and then I took them out to store.
So make my base with all my veggies and all that. That's one part, and then add as many Potstickers as I want to eat that night.
Exactly.
Okay.
And a lot of people like to give soup as like a gift, or to bring to someone. And so I think this is something you could just like package. You could even just put this on the side and bring the broth that you've already made with the veggies, and just say when you heat it, just bring it to a boil and then throw these right in.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so this soup looks delicious to me. What is this?
So I have to tell you, this is like the easiest soup ever. So my church has like a soup night every Wednesday during the winter, and I brought this one night, and like it's every like person that attends a potluck, their dream that their dish is gone at the end of the night. Mine was gone. So this is just really simple. I use spaghetti sauce, I use crushed tomatoes, heavy cream, pesto, and then use the cheese tortellini. And then I also add a little vegetarian broth to it too. And then
thin it out a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a really nice creamy soup. Again, what I'm doing differently and not cooking the pasta in this soup, I'm making the pasta something like this. Like the pasta's already cooked too, so you can just like get it out of the freezer, keep it in your fridge, and then add it and heat it to it, or make it ahead of time. If you're using like a boxed pasta, you could also just boil it and keep it in a separate container.
Kind of.
Yeah, exactly, and just add it as you heat the pasta.
Okay. And then chicken noodle soup, moving on to our last. You're going to take me through the whole process, and we will post these recipes online, or post links to them so people will be able to see all of it, because I know some people
you need the details.
Yes,
right?
some people need details. Okay, so let's move on to chicken noodle soup.
So chicken noodle soup might be the biggest offender, I think, of the like noodle casserole syndrome of soups, because we're using like a nice egg noodle for this. Again, like my tip with a chicken noodle soup is that you bring all the yummy things that you're making in that chicken noodle soup, bring that to a boil, and then just put the noodles in that you're going to eat for that meal, or just again separate it, do the noodles separate and add as you eat.
So even if you have extra broth, what you can do is just get the parts you want, and then you're left with the broth at the end, and you can freeze that and then add noodles for later use.
I give this soup a lot to people that are sick. I just put this on the side.
Okay.
And just say boil, and then add these when you boil it.
All right. Well, here we have something cooking
let's
on
check
the
it
stove.
out.
Can you show me
Yeah,
what's
let's check
going
it
on over
out.
there? All right.
Okay, so in the pot I have butter already going. I have all these like great seasonings like sage and pepper and salt and garlic salt all mixed in there, onion and celery.
And we can just kind of pick mixes that we like.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and I tend to like to pick seasonings that are good with like poultry, so that we're doing a chicken soup. So, you know, you can even think of the seasonings that you like over Thanksgiving. Those are things you could throw in. So we have that going right now. What we'll do is we'll throw in the carrots. And I always say, you want to put them in, or do you want me to?
Yeah, I'll put them in. And these, did you prep these yourself?
I bought a bag that they were already cut.
Another shortcut.
Yes.
I love it. I mean, sometimes it just has to happen.
And I think, you know, these coins are really nice. You can also get matchstick ones too. So we were doing carrots. We're going to do chicken broth. Do you want to help me with the other chicken broth? Actually, cream of chicken soup.
I have never done that before.
I think it makes it really nice and creamy. You want to do this one?
Sure.
And then I'll get the chicken. So a super easy shortcut that I like to do is just get a rotisserie chicken. So when you pull all the meat off of a rotisserie chicken, it's usually about 3 cups.
Okay.
I just take the skin off. And then based on like how your family eats, like I just leave it really big, and then it's, you know, kind of the chicken gets kind of pulled when you're making it.
I like bigger chunks of chicken. It's just, you know that you're actually eating a piece of meat. And my kids often don't like chicken, so then they don't want the chicken in their soup, which is odd, but they like the carrots and the other things, but then they can know exactly where it is.
So we'll just put that right in here. And then with this chicken soup, I just let it come to a boil. And again, what we talked about, where you want to bring the main mixture of your soup to a boil, and then add in the pasta that you're going to use. So like if you're having a really big family night and you know you're going to go through this whole pot, put all those noodles in, those frozen egg noodles. But otherwise, just like, I just keep it separate and then store it separate. And I have some that's already made there if you want to take a peek and see what it looks like in there.
So this looks thick and hearty, but not like a hot dish at all.
Exactly.
Alice, this has been fun and really informational. I know my family's going to appreciate all of the new soup recipes we have.
Yeah.
I hope to see you again soon.
Yes, we'll see you soon.
All right.
Canned and boxed soups are really easy weeknight meals, but don't eat them plain. Add your family's favorite meat, veggies, or pastas to make it a really hearty meal.